Well, good evening and welcome back to Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. And it is day 17 of the countdown to Wyoming. And today, look at there. There used to be raised beds there. We moved them today. That was kind of a big job this morning. And we moved plants and we planted things. It was just crazy. Plus, we did our winners of the sun catchers, the light catchers. And so that video is already up. So go over and see if you are a winner of one of the two. So I'm going to show you us moving the raised beds. I'm going to show you the radishes, how they're growing on the windowsill. We took those tomatoes that we were rooting in water and I planted them. I'm going to tell you about why I did what I did. And on the raised beds, what I did to cover them so that none of the feral cats would use them as a litter box all summer long. First, here are the radishes on my kitchen little shelf right on the windowsill. And they have their true leaves. They're growing good. They get full morning sun, and then it's just filtered sun the rest of the time. Here's the tomato plants that we have been rooting in water, that I've changed the water every day or every other day. And I took some of the soil from one of the raised beds. I'm putting in some perlite and some vermiculite, and I'm going to mix that up. Perlite is great for air spaces, for tiny roots to go through. Vermiculite will really hold the water in the soil and then give it back to the plant roots. So that's why I like to use both of them. I know some people only use perlite, some people only use vermiculite. I think you need to use both of them. Now I've made Joe go get some big cups of soda so that I could have these containers. And one, they're insulated. Two, there are no drainage holes in them right now. Now those tomato plants are used to having just water in there. And so they're used to being very wet. And so that's why I'm not making any holes in the bottom. Now eventually I will, but I wanted them tall so that they can have a really good root system. I am taking these back to Wyoming with me. And here are those three plants. And I am going to just gently tease them apart. I don't want to break any roots. So great root system. I'm just going to take all three of them apart. That last one doesn't have quite as much root system, but it is good. I'm going to break off the bottom leaves. Plus this one keeps sending flowers out. I keep pinching them off. I keep sending it out. So maybe that's a good sign that it's going to be a great plant. But I'm pinching off the bottom ones. I'm making a hole so I can put that in there, and I'll press it around. Now when I get them all in, I'm going to actually add a little bit more soil. But I don't need any of those bottom branches. The deeper you plant a tomato seed or a tomato plant, it will make roots along that stem. And that's what I want. I want a good, strong, healthy plant by the time I get back to Arizona, or back to Wyoming. I am in Arizona. Oh my gosh. So here, let's put some more soil all the way around. We'll press it in there somewhat, not hugely a lot of pressure. I've decided to break off a couple more of those little branches. So I'm just pressing it down. Now, because they have been in water, I'm going to make that soil very wet for the first few days. And I'm just going to scoop that all the way around. Now, I had Joe save the lids on these also. And I cut some holes in those lids, and in just a second I'm going to show you why I did that. But because it has no drainage holes, I can add quite a bit of water and the roots will be happy. So I cut some holes in the top, and I'm just going to let those branches come along the outside and put it on there. It's not a complete greenhouse, but it will hold some moisture, and that's what I need, especially for the next few days, because they are so used to being in just water. And I'm going to put them where they get sun in the morning. They're right by my elephant food plant. And then they get light, but it's not direct sun after probably about 11:30. Now we're back in the garden, and I need to pull up some of my herbs because I want to move them. The first one was peppermint. The second one is French tarragon. This is a lemongrass. I had lemongrass last year. When I came back, it was 6 feet tall. The parsley, I'm actually just going to pull. There's some chives I'm going to save. And I actually found this other little chive hiding. It was underneath the beet leaves. It wasn't even getting any sun. No matter what it tried, there was just too many leaves above it. So I'm going to dig those up. And I'll just set them to the side, and we are going to put them in the flower bed on the side of the house. So here they all are, good root systems. And so anytime you transplant, there's a little bit of shock. But I'm pulling up some of my flowers that are just have seed pods on them now, basically. And though I could let them dry more before I pull them up, I just don't have time. So I've dug a hole. I'm putting that lemongrass in first. And I'm just going to take each of those herbs and I'm going to plant them. They will get water every 3 days. And I'm going to water them really well in right now. So I'll get the last of those chives in there. And then we can turn the water system on. Plus, I'm going to take the hose and I'm going to just give them a really good soak. It's important when you first put them in. The water will make the soil settle around the roots. There won't be air pockets, and it works really well. It's important to do. So we have tarragon. We have a lot of different plants. Now, in 2 pots, I had a Christmas tree from Christmas. I made it look like it was underwater. I thought it was funny. And we have a rosemary. And so I'm going to plant those in the flower bed also. And I just dug a little hole, teased the roots, and then put them in place. And I will water them also. Now we're going back to the garden. Because remember, I am moving raised beds. So I'm taking a rake and I'm just going to get some of the plant debris, kind of smooth it out a little bit more, so that when I go to put the raised beds, that they're pretty even. So we're just going to do one at a time and I'll fill it up. Now this is the raised bed when I took all the tomatoes. I took marigolds and some other plants that were in there. So I got my big wheelbarrow and I am simply going to fill the wheelbarrow up and take it over to the site. We're going to lift that raised bed and move it to that back garden too. So just a matter of scooping it out. Joe came to check out to see what I was doing. And Joe and I will move that raised bed. Now remember, this is concrete cement board that you would use in your bathroom. So we lifted it up and you can see the soil stayed exactly where it was. We'll pull up that rebar so that I can put it where we moved it to. So I'm just going to take a big hammer and I'm just going to pound it in. I'm putting 3 on each side, 1 in the inside, 2 on the outside. It'll just help with the pressure of the soil and water. Then I put a bunch of plant material from the garden in there, and then I'm going to dump the soil in there. But that plant material will biodegrade underneath the soil, which will make the soil better in that raised bed. So that's why I do it. I'm giving it a good soak. Now, I am not going to plant anything in here right now. But I also do not want the feral cats thinking this is a litter box. And so I'm going to give it a really good soak. We got the second one done and the third one done. Now on the third one, I put all my corn stalks, put a little ladder so that it would stay there. They'll biodegrade. And I am actually going to use some chicken wire and some metal from an awning we had on a window that we don't have on there anymore. And it will keep the chicken wire down and it will be perfect for when I come back next fall. Now, I moved all those tomato plants, put them in pots. Either I will give them away or I will take them back to Wyoming with me. I picked up all the ripe cherry tomatoes. As always, like, subscribe, share with the world. This is Sandy at Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming. Day 17, countdown to Wyoming. Tomorrow, day 16. What will we be doing? I'm going to finish moving. Where are they? Those towers. Woo! Can't get them. There they are. I moved one today. There's 2 over here. There's 4 what am I doing? How am I gonna what I'm going to do with the plants. Now, did you know that a petunia, which we always use as an annual, it can actually live 4 years. So down here in Yuma, Arizona, they could live 4 years. That's crazy. So I have some in the ground in the flower bed, but I have some other white ones that are really nice still, unlike some of the other ones. And I'm going to plant those in the ground too. Why not? If they can live 4 years and I don't have to buy them each year, it is awesome. I will see you tomorrow.